Before we dive into component-specific calibrations, I want to take a minute to talk about an often overlooked step in the process for Honda and Acura ADAS systems. Especially when it comes to front radar and windshield cameras, many replacement ADAS components require a software update after installation. As an example, let's look at the installation procedure of this 2025 Odyssey by selecting Installation. The steps for installing the bracket and the radar are listed in the left pane. The second step in the radar installation procedure before calibration is to update the radar. We can select it to be taken to that part of the procedure, and then select the link to be taken to the update procedure. There isn't a lot of info here explaining the update process, but it's pretty straightforward, and we cover that process in depth in the programming course. On newer style service information, the R&I procedure can be accessed from the exploded view of the component. As an example, on this 2025 Accord, we can get to the R&I of the front radar from the front bumper area exploded view. Selecting E will take us to that procedure. And here we can see that the first step after installation and before calibration is to perform the radar update. But I want to point out that the update process is part of the installation procedure, and there are no notes about the update only being required for replacement modules. This means that it's required after removal and reinstallation of a radar, as well as replacement. It's also important to note that this is not a part of the calibration procedure, which Honda calls the aiming. Because of this, it should be billed separately as a software update. It's often overlooked because software updates can only be performed by OEM tools that have access to the latest software on the Honda servers. This is another reason why it is impossible to properly repair these vehicles without access to OEM tooling. It's also important to note that while many of these components require software updates, some do not. As an example, this 2020 Pilot front radar does not require an update after installation. This is why it's critical to thoroughly review the procedures specific to the vehicle you are working on.